I posted over 400 videos and tried all the different funnels the gurus told me would work, but I didn't sign a single client from it. And at this point, I felt so stuck and exhausted because I was literally working my ass off just to see zero results. And now I see so many coaches, info sellers, and agency owners making the exact same mistakes that I made back then over and over again. And it's not weird because the stuff that worked before simply doesn't work anymore. Having complicated funnels and just posting valuable content isn't enough anymore because the game is changing all the time. And it has never been harder than it is right now, because we live in a time when everyone is posting content and copying each other, and the trust is at an all-time low. And if you don't know how to stand out and position yourself as an authority, you will get left behind. And in this video I'm going to show you exactly how you can become a winner of this new info evolution, as I call it. So yeah, let's get into the good stuff. But before I actually get into the real sauce and show you how this content to client system actually work, let me just show you some proof so you actually understand that this shit is actually working. So as you can see here are just some of my own results. You can see multiple calls booked in, and I actually decided to start a brand new Instagram account with only 160 followers to prove that you don't need a huge following to make money from a personal brand. You just need the right systems behind it, because from that account alone, with only 160 followers, I've already signed two clients that I'm still working with to this day. And this system hasn't only worked for me, it has worked for my clients also, because as you can see here are just some of my client wins. You can see multiple calls booked in, 2k cash collected in a single day, $800 collected, and you can find even more proof on my Instagram that is linked below this video. Plus you can also find another link down below where you can just book a call with me if you're interested to have me to scale your info business, coaching business, or agency. So now when you actually understand that this system is working, let me just get straight into the valuable stuff and show you how you can implement this for yourself. So the first step is to identify your ICP, and if you don't know what that stands for, ICP basically means ideal client profile, which is your target audience. And it's super important that you actually know who your actual ICP is, because otherwise it's going to be super hard for you to create content and attract buyers with it. And if you don't know who your ICP is, then you should answer these questions right here. And this is what I send to all of my clients. And this is of course not the whole document with questions, since I couldn't fit it on the screen, but you should, for example, ask yourself, who are they, their story, what do they look like, what are they passionate about, short-term goals, long-term goals, etc. Just fill this out. Then if you already got clients that you're currently working with, you should always send them a feedback form, and I always do that straight after I have closed someone on my offer and had the onboarding with them. Then I always send them a feedback form, and in that form I firstly just ask how they discovered me, if they had any objections, what made them actually go out and work with me, was there any weird reason to why they actually chose me, etc. Because I will have a much clearer picture on who my clients actually are, what are my actual ICP. Then for example, if they said that they had any specific objection, then I can just post content handling that objection. So it's super important that you always send them a feedback form after you have closed them. Then second step after you have identified your ICP is to optimize your Instagram and YouTube profile. And I just took myself as an example here because my profile is optimized. And as you can see here, you should firstly have a profile picture where people can see your face clearly, and it should match your branding. Then when it comes to the username, you should just have a very simple, clear name with your first name, last name, or your first name, company name, etc. But just as long as you don't have any numbers or specific signs inside of it, you're good to go. Then when it comes to the actual bio, it should show proof. Then it should have a clear structure, show your method, and have a call to action. And here just an example of one of my fitness coaching clients and a bio that I made for him. So firstly, he has username fitness with Brent, very clean, simple, explains who he is and his first name. Then Brent, his last name, online fitness coach, explains what he's actually doing so people instantly understand that. First sentence, he just builds a lot of trust and he shows proof, which positions him as an authority. Then second sentence is, I help men get ripped by keeping shit simple with zero fluff and only what actually works using the simple method. And this is so good because he really shows his personality, who he is as a person, how he helps them, and the method. Because when he says using the simple method, people will get so curious, and this is how he actually stands out, because otherwise people will just think he probably uses the exact same strategies all the other fitness coaches out there. But when he has his own method, people will get super curious and they will think, I really want to know what his actual method is, and I really want to start working with him because he is doing something different from all the other people out there. And then the last sentence in his bio is, DME start to get ripped in 90 days. Which makes people DM him, and you want to get people to your DMs, of course, because then you can just close them there or get them to book a call. And then on your profile or under your bio, you need story highlights in place, because it should actually turn profile visitors into buyers, because the story sequence that you're going to have in place, most of the people, before they actually go and buy from you, they are going to check that out. So it's super important that you really dial in on this and have a super optimized story sequence in place. And as you can see here, you should have a few different ones. So the first one should be called client wins, clients results, whatever you want to call it. And in this one you should just show client wins, because yeah, that will build a lot of trust and people need to see that before they actually go out and buy from you. Then most importantly, the one called start here. If you don't have that, you definitely have to go out and put it into your story sequence right now. And in this one you should just show your story, show proof, position yourself as an authority, explain your method, how you're helping people. Then by the end of that, you need a call to action to your DMs, and this is the one that most people who's actually visiting your profile are gonna click on, and this will make them take action. Then you should have one called proof, as you can see here, and in this one you should just basically show that what you actually do works. And what I do on my Instagram is that I show people when I'm booking calls, for example when I'm school getting calls booked in, etc., because that's proof. It shows that what I actually do works. Then you should have one called personal/life, where you just show your day-to-day life, show what you're doing on a daily basis, etc. And that's basically the most important ones. I've just added a few extra here, but you don't of course have to do that. And what I always recommend you to do, instead of just having one client wins like that, you should always have at least two if you got many results. Because if you put everything in one, firstly there will be too much, and when people get your profile and see that you have client wins 1, client wins 2, they will instantly think this guy must know what he's talking about because he has so many client wins. So that's like, you literally need to have that if you got a lot of results. But of course if you don't got any results, then it's totally fine with one. But now you probably wonder, what stories should I actually post on my Instagram? Let me explain. So these are the exact stories that you should post on a daily/weekly basis. So the first one is called proof. In this one you should just show what you actually do works. For example, posting pictures of me booking calls, closing deals. But it's of course different from niche to niche. Like I am in the agency / helping coaches scale niche, so it's a little bit different from me. But if you're a fitness coach, for example, you can post, I don't know, if you have been in any competition, you can show that. You get what I mean. Then in the one called social proof, you should just post stories showing client wins, testimonials, etc., because that builds a lot of trust and people have to see that before they actually go and buy from you. Then post stories about you documenting, showing your life. That's super easy. Just take up your camera, show something that you did throughout the day. Then you should post storytelling content, storytelling stories, just showing your story, how your life looked like before versus now. That's how people connect with you. Then once every single week, post a promotional story. And this is exactly how you should prepare or structure that weekly promotional story, as you can see here. So it starts here with a hook/statement. You just want to catch the viewer. That's all you want to do. Then the second like story or phase in this sequence is to hit the pain point in the viewer. This is super important because people buy when they feel like they need a solution to the problem that you're actually solving. Thirdly, you should just talk about their desired outcome, and this is exactly why you need to know who your ICP is, because otherwise you can't post about desired outcome, because you don't know what your audience actually wants or who they actually are. So that's why you need to know who your ICP is. Then we have method. You should just show how your method works, what it actually is. Then position yourself as an authority, show more results, use your own self as proof. For example, if you don't got any client wins, use yourself as the proof, because you are the best proof out there. But if you got client wins, just post about them, tell stories. Don't just put a simple picture of them. You have to explain stories, because people don't buy from you when they just see a simple picture. They buy into stories. That's what you have to realize. Then by the end of that weekly story sequence, you should just have a clear call to action. And now you probably wonder, what can I even post about in this story sequence / weekly promotional story? You can, for example, show value, talk about your story, talking about a client story. Like, you can literally talk about anything out there that has, of course, with your business or whatever you're doing to do. Then the third step is, of course, your content, and this is the most important thing of all of it, because if you don't have your content dialed in, and if you don't know what content to actually post, then you will never get any clients. But firstly, let's talk about what you should post on each platform. On YouTube, you should just focus on nurturing your audience, build up trust, connect with them on a deeper level, and make people buy into you as a person, because you have to realize that people don't buy offers, they buy into you as a person. On Instagram, you should focus on grabbing attention, getting new people to your page, drive traffic to your YouTube channel, because you have to post on both of these platforms, because you have to realize that the YouTube content and the Instagram content is completely different, and you need to make them work together. That's the goal. And let's start with the YouTube content. On YouTube, it of course depends a little bit on what niche you are in, but in general, you should focus on posting value content that builds trust, where you just focus on solving a specific problem and speak directly to your target ICP. Then we have the storytelling content, and that's how people actually connect with you and can relate, because people buy into stories. Then we have the proof content. This is super important, because that's how you actually build authority and position yourself as the leader in your niche. Plus, of course, it builds a lot of trust. And for example, if you're a fitness coach, you can post a video of you showing how a client went from, I don't know, a specific weight to then losing 20 pounds, etc. You can just do a before and after video talking about that client. But if you are, for example, helping, I don't know, info sellers grow, then you can post like client interviews, just interviewing your clients, ask how much they made, etc. because it builds a lot of trust and you position yourself as an authority. Then you have the journey / lifestyle content. This is where you just show your personality and who you are as a person. You can, for example, make day in the life videos, because what people don't realize when they watch day in the life videos is that they are buying into you as a person, and they don't even know that, but they're automatically doing that without them even knowing it. So it's super important that you're doing that, and people like really have to buy into your personality. That's how they actually like get to know you better. So it's super important that you post journey / lifestyle videos. Then on Instagram, you should firstly focus on posting content that grabs attention. These type of content are usually getting a little bit more views, and then because like you need to get new people to your page, you can't just stay stuck and getting like 400 views on your videos. Some of your videos has to pop up, so you actually pop off, so you actually get new people to your page. It's super important. Then you had the ICP content, where you just focus on posting pure value videos that speaks to your ICP. These are most often getting like a little bit less views, but the viewers on these videos are way more qualified. And the thing is that That's how you actually attract qualified people who's ready to invest into what you're selling. Then you have the personal content, where you just make people buy into you as a person. This can, for example, be storytelling content, journey content, etc. Literally all the content that's just super personal to you and what you do. And here is basically how the process is going to work. So when someone, for example, see a reel from you for the first time, they will be super cold. They will not be even close to go out and buy from you. But once they start to engage with you, maybe start to follow you on your Instagram, start to watch your YouTube channel videos, like, they will get warmer and warmer, and they're going to eventually buy into you as a person. And once they have done that, they're going to book a call and go and pay for your offer. So that's basically how this process works. So firstly, they get from a cold lead to warm to then buying from you. And I like to separate this in 3 different parts. You have the top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel. But let's start with the top of funnel, just so you get a better picture on how everything is actually working. So the top of funnel is basically your Instagram content, because this is where most of the people is going to find you from the first place, and here's where you actually get the most engagement. And from your Instagram, you want to drive people to your YouTube channel, which is the middle of funnel, and this is where the real shit actually happens, because this is where they buy into you and to your offer. But before they actually go and buy from your offer, they're going to check out all your story highlights. They're going to check out your stories. So that's exactly why it's super important that you're dialing in on your stories. You're following the story sequence that I showed you before, and that you're posting, for example, proof stories about your clients, storytelling stories, etc. So it's super important that you follow this. Then from this top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, there will be 2 ways for them to actually go and buy from you. They have 2 options. They can either go to your YouTube channel, where you, for example, have a VSL video, or just from literally any video that you have posted, and then book a call from it, because in all of your YouTube videos you should always have a link below it in the description where they can book a call with you. And that's the first option, that they can book directly from a YouTube channel, from the description of a video, or they can just go straight and to your DMs and actually send you a DM asking about getting on a call with you. Because the thing is that having complicated funnels, etc., that shit doesn't work anymore. Of course, you have probably seen people like Berscales, TGR, if you know who those guys is, but they are like super big in this space. Like, they need to have complicated funnels. They need to have complicated application forms, upsells, etc. But you, as maybe a smaller creator, you maybe have around 5,000 to, I don't know, 80,000 followers on your Instagram, then you don't need that stuff. People just want things to be simple. They don't want to go through complicated funnels, VSL videos, all of that stuff. You just want to keep it super simple. You should basically just post on Instagram, YouTube, follow this system with the top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, because that's how you actually get people to buy from you nowadays. And the thing is that this game is changing all the time. The things that worked before, those things aren't working anymore. So that's exactly why you need to follow this system. So if you actually want to work one-on-one with me and have me to scale your coaching business or agency, just click the link below this video and book your call now.